Yes, y'all. What's going on? We're going to start today off with a beautiful picture of Anubis, a good friend of Aaron's. Happy full moon in Leo. Full ice moon in Leo, February 2022. February 16th? 16th, 2022. We're filming this a couple days before, but that's where we're at. How we doing, sir?
No, it's been definitely a rough month for me. I don't know about anybody else, but basically a week after building the last grid, my cat passed away. And I now have a picture frame instead of a pet.
So you guys know that a lot of the times we start off on Boris for these videos, and yes, he passed away last month, so we're missing him today.
Yeah.
And every day. But.
Right. And with that all being said, like, this grid is ironically really kind of on point to everything that's going on, at least personally. And perhaps it's also resonating with a lot of other people at the same time. But as you can see down here, we got a lot of blue. A lot of blue. And what a lot of that deals with is going to be expression, communication, creativity, and grief. So, and to kind of do a little bit of a rundown quickly about what we got or we're working with, these guys right here. This is called Quantum Quattro. It is a malachite, shadakite, chrysocolla, dioptase, and smoky quartz, all on a big old matrix. It works our Earth Star chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the high heart, the throat, and the third eye. It's a master healer, a stone of transformation. It dramatically affects our energy fields and strengthens our immune system and provides protection. Symbolizes wholeness and peace. It helps to restore equilibrium where things are imbalanced. Helps to break cycles of karmic codependency, especially with things like addiction or obsession. It helps to recognize that you can't fix or control any of those issues. It helps, it also helps to bring tough love where, intervention is needed. Because
tough love,
right? So you got somebody going through shit and they're not helping themselves. Sometimes the best thing to do is literally smack them across the face, like, "Hey, look, we got a problem here.
Listen up.
know it's a problem here." And this,
that's what the Quattro's for.
Yeah, that's what it's here. It's also really good for the heart because it also activates the high heart because we got our heart here, and then our high heart's right up here, and that's really where grief sits. Like if you've ever felt it in like that hole of loss, it's up here. It's not down here, right? And it's like that place where we would usually feel anxiety, that intense pressure. And like pounding comes from this part of the chest. You remove that, and that's basically where grief sits. Is that big empty hole? It's like, ugh, it's gross. But yeah, it also helps to dissolve negative emotions such as grief and guilt from the solar plexus, reversing negative and destructive emotions, and to help heal them, particularly things like hurt, betrayal, sorrow, and abandonment. And we also got to keep in mind that anytime in spirituality, when people bring up the concepts of negative or positive, it's talking about in a electrical kind of aspect, where there's a negative polarity and a positive polarity. It doesn't mean good and bad. It doesn't mean like evil and righteous. It's like the yin and the yang. It's that constant balance where it's like if you've never experienced the negative emotions, how can you appreciate the positive ones?
Right. Exactly.
And if you don't experience the negative ones, how can you tell if your positive ones aren't negative? As I kind of mentioned to Chad a little bit earlier, like we don't think that something such as excitement can be perceived as a bad thing. But in reality, that butterflies in the stomach you get when you're anticipating something or getting ready for you're going to see the show that you really want to see. You're going on a date for the first time and you want to make sure everything's perfect. And it's like you're really getting hyped up and amped and like excited about it. That excitement is literally positive anxiety. It's just, instead of, being all like down on yourself and like beating yourself up about things and, it's preventing you from doing it. It's like you're getting ready to do it and it's basically the exact opposite swing of the pendulum.
With what you're talking about, how does like your emotions and feelings come into play with, as far as like, because there's people, we're talking about positive and negative energy.
Yeah.
Us as humans have described our emotions as a good feeling or a bad feeling.
Yeah.
A positive feeling has been associated with feeling fucking amazing, and a negative energy has been associated with feeling like shit, right?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it again from the yin and the yang aspect, where yang represents white, light, ease, that kind of stuff, where yang is more dense, heavy, slow. And it's because of that like we essentially perceive that as feeling bad or feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, our human brains have to put words and meanings to things to understand them, right?
So when we're feeling good, when we're experiencing those positive emotions, we're feeling lighter. We're feeling more free. We're feeling
energy's flowing. Maybe
you're not blocked. More better. There's less blockages. There's less stagnation. So you're up. You're moving. You're going. Those are all what we perceive as positive things.
Yeah, it just feels good too.
Right, and it feels good. Like you want to be in that state, but because everything is in a constant flow and flux, you can't remain in that state. Because trying to remain in that state is like you're going downstream. You found like this fun little part that you really enjoyed and you're just trying to go back upstream when it's like this stream's flowing at like 15, 20 miles an hour. You can't like just paddle your way back up that and expect to get back to the top of that like fun ride, the top of the rapids, and then expect to just keep in that section the whole time. Like you can't do that. So you're going to go through those slower, those denser, those heavier moments. And we just need to come at it with the same perspective as, the positive ones, the lighter ones. So like when that bad feeling comes around, it's usually telling us that we're not paying attention to something.
Right.
So then if you take that time, that's telling you, hey, I need to slow down. I'm feeling heavy. I need to do some self-care. You start doing that, you start reflecting on what's going on, and then you can actually be like, oh, I haven't, I've been feeling like crap, been working too much, and I haven't been able to, get outside in nature the way I want to.
Which we did the other day and just laid on the grass in the sun for like an hour.
Exactly.
Which felt amazing to me.
And it was much needed. And, it definitely helped improve moods on both of our ends. And, but at the other end, sometimes if that's all you're doing, is you're always outside, you're always outside of your bubble of density. Like, that's when you come home and your house is a mess.
Right.
Like, you realize you haven't cleaned the cat box in like 3 days.
And then you're fucking anxious, like, I gotta clean this shit.
Right?
It's kind of like when you go away on vacation, you come home and you're like, I know when I do, and I come home a week later, I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta like cleanse it and clean shit to even feel comfortable.
Right? It was all because like there's probably a thin layer of dust. You know what that dust is? Parts of you that have been left in your space that have settled.
Preach.
And if you don't like that dust, that means you're not liking your own space. So you got to clean that space, right? Make it so that you can be the one settling, not your aftermath.
Preach.
Your energy. Because again, when we're home, we're expressing, we're releasing, we're doing all this stuff. And if you only release density at home, you go away, you go sit in that positive outside, that like excitement, that good positive feelings, you're going to come back to a house that's just been stewing in all of your negative garbage and trash that you've just dumped in here. and it's like it's gonna suck. It's not gonna feel good. Whereas like if you kind of reverse that, where it's like you make your home the positive space, and this is where you want to be, then that's also kind of an also negative effect, because then it's like, oh, if I go out in public, that's where all the bullshit is. That's where all the crap is. This is my safe space. So then you're bubbling yourself in and not going anywhere. So it's like you gotta work with that flow, work with that swing. And
love it.
Right? And so this guy basically helps with all that.
What's it called again?
Quantum Quattro.
And can you hold one up so I can just get it like a nice...
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to hold it and focus in on it. So Quantum Quattro, guys. Quattro right there.
Yep. Malachite, Shadakite, chrysocolla, diaptase, and a smoky quartz matrix.
Beautiful. That shelf. So guys, this is a new shelf. The shelf behind you looks really cool. The foam is just filled. This guy right here is not... We won't get too off track, but this keeps sticking out to me. Fluorite. Yeah, it's like fucking banging. But all right, back to it, guys.
Back to it. So yeah, next we're going over here. We got celestite.
Okay, celestite.
This is a third eye, crown, high crown kind of stone. It's high vibration. Helps teach them new age kind of energies. It helps to transmute things like pain and chaos, which are perceived as negative, again, into love and light, which are, again,
perceived as
positive, where if you've been going through a very dense period, where if you go turn around and look at what's on the table back there from last month, like, that stuff's heavy. That stuff's dense.
Yeah, last month.
Like, shit was
real.
Like, this kind of forced you to sit with stuff and kind of accept things.
Well, we got to remember too. So I was talking about how this month of February has been a kind of a rough month for me so far. And so you talk about this grid from January. We did this grid. Let's remember, guys, watching these grids. We did that grid in January, but it was for the month of February.
Right.
So we're actually feeling the effects of this grid right now as we come into this fucking full moon build.
Right. That's why
it makes total sense to me. I didn't even think about that.
And that's why with these like mid-month full moons, it makes your months all kind of wonky and weird.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what are these called again?
Celestite.
Celestite, you guys?
Yep. Nice little clear boys. These are a strontium.
Let me see it.
This is a strontium silicon oxide. Nice, lovely little blue stone. Yeah, and it's good at helping to cool fiery emotions, or if you noticed last month you were a little touchy.
Yeah.
This is going to bring it back down. It's also going to help promote mental balance and synthesizing our intellect with our intuition, which a lot of these stones are working with that kind of creative focus mindset. So if you use creativity either professionally or therapeutically,
both,
this is going to be a perfect time to do that.
Okay.
You know, this is the time to do something for yourself, to just express the emotions and things that need to be said but you don't have the words for.
Nice.
Okay. And next we're going to pop over to these little guys.
Well, that's funny you say you don't have the words for it, because the way I do that is I express through writing, which comes out in words.
That's why.
That's just how I do it.
Right,
you know?
Right. And that's why I would challenge you to do something where try to say what you want to say without actually saying it.
Okay.
You know, use metaphor, use symbolism, because that might trigger something.
Okay.
Make it flow.
Okay.
Next we go to these little guys here. This is Aquamarine.
Okay.
It's clears the throat, opens the third eye, helps to align all the chakras. It was said to protect sailors from drowning back in the day. It's a meditative stone providing a protective aura. See those little pointy up guys there. It helps to invoke the higher consciousness and encourage humanitarianism. It removes extraneous thought and acts as a filter to clarify insight and perception. So if you deal with some ADHD issues, Aquamarine is good for that. It's also a stone that helps to remind you of hope. It's like, remember there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It also helps to facilitate closure and understanding emotional states so you can help interpret their feelings instead of just being stuck in the feelings. Because we do that. No one really tells us how to process and understand what we're feeling. We either feel it and get stuck in it, or we block it out and don't feel it until it explodes. Yeah, and it helps.
And it always fucking explodes in one way or the other.
Exactly. And as a result, it helps to alleviate fear with hope and helps to break self-defeating programs. And that little thing is coming in again. Self-defeating programs are going to be kind of moved out of the way. So if we kind of go back into some perspective and think about back in December when we did that recreating our kind of dreams and goals and ambitions of what we were trying to create.
Oh, dude, I was on fire in December too.
Right? It's like we were spending all this time creating new boundaries, recreating what it is we want to do, and then kind of got hit with this density because it's okay. It's that like planning process where you have to slow down, you have to think, you gotta prepare, move piece by piece. And a lot of times that's a thinking process. Like you're in your head and you can't necessarily bring that into life, where this is gonna let you bring those ideas into life. And also keeping in mind, like last month probably brought up a lot of self-defeating programs. Because when you're doing your personal, okay, how do I want to do this? The only thing that can get in your way is you. So we learned very quickly on how that works.
Real talk.
And next we're going to jump into these guys right here. This is Amazonite. It is a spleen, solar plexus, heart, and connects the high heart to the throat. This is a artist stone, one really good for musicians and writers.
Amazonite? I just got a
Amazonite
little tower.
Perfect. But yeah, again, as with I believe the celestite and the aquamarine, it's got very good filtering. Even helps to like block geopathic stress and electromagnetic waves. So if you put that in between you and like a router, especially if you're very sensitive to those things.
Literally right next to my keyboard on my desktop.
Like if you have a high sensitivity to EMFs, electronics, anything like that, putting Amazonite in between you and it works very similarly to that of something like shungite.
Nice.
And if you want to double it up. Go shungite, Amazonite, just to keep you safe.
I also throw a little Aragonite on there.
Perfect, right? As I said, it helps with the oversensitivity issues, helps to filter information passing through the brain, combining the intellect and intuition, just like celestite. It helps to promote self-determination. It releases grief from the emotional body from the moment it was created, and to create an emotional balance to facilitate constructive expression of what needs to be said. Luckily for me, I have talked about my situation a lot, and I have a really great support group. And even with what I do, like as a massage therapist, my clients actually give a shit about my life sometimes. So I can sit there and talk while I'm working, and get everything out that I need to get out. And I have great friends groups that I can do the same thing with, and just it helps. Having people to talk to is very, very important.
That's awesome.
If you don't have that, I'm sorry, but do the best with what you can.
Yeah.
Right? Then next, we're actually jumping into this whole group because we got Caribbean Calcite, which is a combination of blue calcite and Aragonite. So blue calcite is a powerful healer, protector. It absorbs, filters, and returns energy back to the sender. Again, quiets mental chatter and brings about clarity. Working with just about everything else here. initiates spiritual growth and relaxation, soothes nerves, and lifts anxiety. Helps to release those negative emotions, assists in clear communication of those thoughts and feelings, especially when there's situations of dissent going on, and helps to facilitate change in those moments. And then you bring it in with the Aragonite, which is resonates with the Mother Earth energy. It's an earth healer. It's a grounder. Oh no,
you're just playing.
I'm just playing with my shit.
Is that a name of Amazite?
This is Quantum Quattro.
Okay, so he's got the quad
with some turquoise.
So that goes to show you guys that he ain't playing around. He's putting it in the grid, but he's also got it around his neck.
When I combined it with turquoise, it's like you have the Quantum Quattro, which that transformation, master healer, activator, and all this shit, especially anything with the heart and throat and connecting all that. And then you throw in turquoise, which is a stone of truth and communication. So it's like you speak your truth. Combining with this, I'm not only speaking my truth, but the truth of my heart and my high heart. And I'm actually not even allowed to not do that, because when I do, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes bad.
Yeah, you have no choice.
I choke a little bit. My voice will cut off if I start doing anything that's dishonest to my heart and high heart, and it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I only wear this on rare occasions, and this is one of them. But yeah, the Aragonite also is a good geopathic stress stone. It centers the physical body while again calming over sensitivity, connecting back in with the Aquamarine.
Nice.
It evenly distributes energy through the body. So this is one of those stones if being used in a healing practice during energy work, you place it on one part of the body, it's hitting all of them. And you can tell because all those little nubs on there, they're basically like little spotlights. So you put in light and you put in energy going through those, it's shooting it in every single one of those directions.
Wow.
Both forwards, backwards, up, down, everywhere. It's really great. And if you use one of these to meditate, if you struggle with grounding, put this between your legs when you're sitting, and it'll just instantly get there. It's really cool. And then when you combine the two of these things together for the Caribbean Calcite, it's a mental activator helping to channel your abilities that aid in elevating consciousness, helps to travel beyond the physical to where there's endless self-knowledge, enhances perception during dreaming and doing any kind of astral projection, dream work, whatever. Reduces the energetically overstimulated and protecting against the bombardment of other people's thoughts and feelings. So if you're an empath who struggles with the fact you absorb everyone else's shit, this stuff is great for you. It's really actually nice to look at. It's kind of soothing. It's very soft. I love it.
You feel?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Instantly, like a freaking Xanax.
Right? And this guy too is he's so quirky. So nice. Yeah, you feel that guy.
That one feels good too.
I always love when I can find some of these that have those black spots on them because they add a little bit of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all those guys.
Do me a favor, can you hold that? I just want to grab my tea.
Oh yeah.
Or you talk about whatever. Yeah. One last thing, I just can't remember where I put it. I need some tea.
Yeah. So as we went over already, we got the Quantum Quattro right here. You got the Celestite here, Amazonite, Aquamarine, Caribbean Calcite and its derivatives. Here is blue calcite. We have used this plenty of times before. Blue kyanite. I use kyanite as a bridge, a connector piece. It helps to just align the energies together and become more unified and one. And something that's not in the books that I decided to add in later is this stuff here. This is Larimar. If you want to come and snag that.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Yep. So Larimar is a little bit more new. It only comes from the Dominican Republic. It's kind of cool. But it's I added it in because I felt it was going to be very helpful with these energies and just help tie it in together a little bit more because it's deeply nurturing. It definitely radiates a sense of love as it helps to restore your strength from overwork, and it harmonizes the body and takes the soul into a newer vibration. It's very good with meditation, just like with several of these other stones. Releases sabotaging behavior, self-imposed bonds, inappropriate burdens, removing attached entities. Again, overworking ourselves, attaching us to things that aren't really helpful. This is going to help push that all away. Helps to draw in a soulmate type energy, and particularly that to heal relationship karma or heart trauma. It connects with the joyful, childlike type energy. It's very stimulates creativity and going with the flow. It helps to bring calm and equilibrium. Connects to the earth goddess for those who need help with that great divine feminine. Yeah. So as you kind of see how it blends in with everything else and just it fit the flow.
Nice. So. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Full moon in Leo, a full ice moon, y'all. As a Leo sun myself, I always like it when a Leo moon comes.
Right. Can't be denying the king his fervor.
Mm-hmm. Can't deny the king his fervor.
All right, now let's go do a directional calling, get everything brought into this full moon, helping us to gather into these times. And even though it's February, it's supposed to be an ice moon, it's fucking 50 something here. But yeah. So yes, to the east, to the wind, to the dragon's wing, light of wisdom, of movement and freedom. That bright light energy that's just gonna push us forward.
Oh.
To the south, to the fire, to the flames of the phoenix, to the light that guides us, to the endless fire that fuels us, to our warmth, to our creativity, to our passions. Come on in.
You are welcome here.
To the west, to the earth, to the ground beneath our feet, to our ancestors, everything who's come, who's gone, and that'll ever be. To the food that nurtures us, to the animals that roam the plains, forests, hills, and mountains. We welcome you in.
Welcome.
And to the north, to the waters, to emotion, to depth of wisdom, to the things unknown. We welcome you. If you can't tell, this might be a little emotionally hard for me. It's going to be one of those ones.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As Aaron said, this is a very emotional grid. We just lost his cat, Boris, about a week after we built last month's grid. So it's been a tough time, but, we welcome you back to the channel. And if you made it this far into the video, as we're starting to build the grid, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think so far. And then, subscribe. We'd love for you to subscribe and build this channel up, as this is our second grid build in 2022. It's your boy Chad Diamond Damberay and Aaron the Gridmaster Twists. Yeah, we both just been going through it. We're not going to fake the funk. We've been going through it, so. If it seems a little somber when you're watching, it's because it's supposed to be.
All right. When I come to bring into the mother.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I got to sit down for a second.
It's all good.
Guys, I've been nursing a sore back for a week, so you may get some low angles today.
I'll pull this chair out for her.
Oh, you good. Oh, thank you.
We're going to bring in the Earth Mother, Goddess. Come to your children in this time of grief and peace. And help us to express what needs to be said. And I know this wasn't talked about. It's just some Actinolite. It's a high heart stone. It gives us kind of. It expands our auras out to its maximum and then crystallizes the edges. So it kind of gives us a safe space during this time. So
that's good.
What needs to be said can be said in a place of peace, comfort, and tranquility.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking?
Lots of thoughts. I know it's probably not going to make sense that I did it this way, but I don't care.
That's the thing, it will make sense by the time you're done with it.
Mm-hmm.
How does the full moon in Leo play in with your theme of like working through the grief this month?
Well, as you know, Mr. Leo, Leos are very sensitive.
I can concur.
And as a result, when going through these types of stages, something that's very important is to, feel like you can safely express what needs to be expressed.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to do that for a Leo, nurture. Pet the kitty.
Yeah, you heard of Ice Moon, pet the kitty. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Almost looks like a little spaceship you're building.
I'm trying not to burp.
I thought you were just in deep thought. Where you're gonna put? Well, probably both.
No, I'm always in thought.
Oh my god.
Stop hurting yourself, goddamn.
It's all good. Just haven't had my back hurt for a week straight. But I'm trying to, I'll take a day and rest it, and then the next day I'll do some exercises and move it, and then I'll be sore the next day. And you got to move it, I think, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Movement's healthy.
These are the blue calcite?
This is celestite.
Celestite, that's right. Nice connector pieces here.
Mm-hmm. This is a stone that if you want to buy it in bulk like this, it's not that expensive. It's not like my current project, which tourmaline. Tourmaline is expensive. Unless you're talking about black tourmaline, and that one's pretty prevalent.
I'm digging the colors, the blues, and it is a calming vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Let those waves of grief wash over you.
Basically.
And use the Leo moon to express yourself in your own unique way.
Alright, because you don't have to get into expression, talk about Leos, man. I mean,
We like to express.
sometimes a little too much. No offense.
None taken. None taken, my brother. I'm actually a pretty tame Leo. A little more tame than I used to be. A lot more tame than some of the Leos out there.
Seriously. I always used to say, you want to make a Leo cry? All you gotta do is say, it's not about you, right?
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Man, this grid is beautiful. Just that blue is really doing something for me. I can feel the power of it.
Mm-hmm. It's needed, man. Like we've been doing a lot of deep shit lately, and no one ever said it was easy.
Nobody said it'd be easy.
And if they did, they're fucking liars.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Nah, I mean. Alright, this is the play-by-play. This is where Aaron decides to take the grid in more of a multi-dimensional approach and basically blow your brains out of your skulls.
Well, I gotta have something in the middle that's sending energy up.
I
Otherwise,
know.
we're gonna have what we did last week. Last time,
Last month.
Bigger
Yeah,
ones,
send some
actually.
shit up, dog. I need some shit sent up. I think I need to switch my tool back to the one that Neely calls the cocaine on a chain. I don't even know. It's like a weight one.
Okay.
Cocaine on a chain. Chain gang. Coming in hot, hot, hot. Like a cheetah.
I know this is probably completely random, especially coming from me. Would you check out that halftime show?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
I mean, I thought it was fire because that's the music I grew up on. You know what I'm saying? That was
Right.
definitely my generation. Because you think about it, I grew up in the 90s, so and I grew up on Dre and Snoop. And then you got M, who was huge in the 90s, and like Mary J. and, you know, even like 50 and, you know, Kendrick's always dope. But like it was great for me, but it also made me feel kind of old because when I was coming up with the Super Bowl, half times I'd be like, why are they playing all these, you know, they're always playing like the old rockers, you know, that our parents grew up on and shit, like the Billy Joels, the Bon Jovi, shit like that, you know. But now it's my generation is there, and they actually, you know, played like the hip hop that I grew up on in the 90s, and all the young kids are like, what the fuck? And all the older people from our parents' generations are like, this ain't fucking music or what, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but you know, all people my age are like, oh, that was dope, you know?
It's like, yeah, bring back the.
So yeah, so if I mean, it felt good to me. What about you?
I mean, I got more into that old school rap and hip hop later in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like a slightly different appreciation for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was fucking badass to see
Yeah.
the OGs out, you know, yeah.
Yeah, it was, man.
And I do have to say, I fucking love Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
That motherfucker coming out dressed however he wants.
He's still smooth
Don't
as shit.
give a
Like in his
shit.
50s, still smooth. Like,
Right? I guarantee you he could convince the straightest edge motherfucker to hit a joint. And all he would ever do is just be like, here, hold this, hit this.
bro, you know, I ain't smoked weed in like, I think only like took one hit in the last 2 years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and that's just because it just had happened. You know, I used to smoke with the best of them, but like, I'm not turning down smoking, taking a rip off of Joy J with Snoop Dogg. It's just
Right?
it's not happening.
Like I'm saying, it's like,
he was like one of my idols growing up. Like,
mm-hmm.
and he was on his like super like hardcore shit back then, which I loved.
Right? You know, back in the day when Snoop killed a guy.
Yeah, yeah. You know, back in the day when Snoop caught a murder charge, got off.
Like, there's no hay on the guys. It's just state of fact.
Yeah.
Like, don't come after me now, but I'm just saying.
For a dude that killed somebody, he's pretty cool. Coming in hot, running like a cheetah. And there's old Anubis on the couch, y'all. Just overwatching Aaron, his son, basically Anubis' stepson. As I like to call him.
Well,
let me zoom in.
And a little bit about the Anubis picture and the drawing next to it. Those I did the weekend that Boris passed. I started working. Well, I took about a week to do the drawing because I wanted to make sure I spent a little bit of time every day doing something to kind of honor him and remember him as best I can. And then, like, that was just a pure, like, grief channel.
Mm-hmm.
In which, after doing that and actually talking to a couple people, it's like, I do art therapy.
Yeah.
Just naturally.
Yeah, me too.
And people pay someone hundreds of dollars to do this shit. I could be in the wrong field. But, you know.
Man, this looks beautiful, bro.
I don't believe in exploiting people's emotions.
Amen.
Have you ever run into a so-called spiritual healer that gets offended if you see somebody else?
I've seen a couple of them. Not someone when I first moved out here on Pacific Northwest for sure, but now that I've kind of like, you know, weeded out people and just now I have like certain circles in that type of community, you know.
Right.
they're all pretty good-hearted people. The ones I fuck with, you know.
Yeah, but it's like.
But I have seen that happen for sure.
It's like we've heard of those types. You know, it's just kind of one of those things just to keep in mind. It's like, are they doing it for you, or are they doing it because, well, they need your money? And if you're going to somebody solely because you feel guilt of being one of their customers, and then, oh, I'm changing.
Yeah.
Like,
Not interested in that.
no time for that shit.
We already done worked that shit out back in November.
Right? We did that in November. We ain't got time for that shit.
Ain't got time for that shit.
Still want to play with the rest of you? Little blues.
Where the little blue's gonna go?
Oh, fuck it. We're gonna do some of this. We're gonna layer up. You know?
Okay.
Add some depth into this.
Little layer never hurt nobody.
No. I mean, it is the ice moon, or in some cultures it's called the snow moon. So, gotta wear them layers. Gotta keep warm.
Gotta keep warm, y'all. Guys, if you're still watching, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. Make sure you leave a comment below and just let us know and let Aaron know how you're feeling about his grids. And if you got any questions, you can email us at the email in the description below, chaosgrids@gmail.com, and Aaron will, get back to you and answer your questions when he
Or
can.
feel free to, just leave a comment or something.
Or yeah, just leave a comment asking a question.
I have to remind myself that shit's there. Feel free to do it.
Do you get notifications when somebody comments? Or?
Yeah, it goes to one of my emails. I just don't remember which. I just got to remember to switch over from time to time.
Yeah. Over here yawning and shit. Sorry, bro.
Hey. This is kind of a sleepy energy grid, so I am overly surprised that you're yawning.
Yeah, I am feeling kind of relaxed. I'm pretty sensitive to the energy of the grid when I'm here, when you're building it.
Oh, yeah. Being in this compared to, observing is two different worlds.
Yeah.
So
I get to be in the grid and experience the build right in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Cheer. February 16th, 2022. Full moon. Full ice moon in Leo. Shout out. Where's my Leo pride at? Make some noise. And then we got a Cancer right here.
I got my Mercury in Leo.
He's got his Mercury. What's Mercury for again?
Communication.
Mm.
So if I'm talking, shut the fuck up and listen.
Yes,
listen.
listen.
What? I'm not that one. Could you imagine if I had a fire, Mars sign instead of fucking Taurus? The Taurus is like, no, fuck you.
Oh, I wonder what my Mars
Come at me, bro.
I think my Mars might be in Virgo. I have to look it up. But your Mars is in Taurus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a lot of Libra too. I have Libra in five different place locations.
My Mercury and Mars are your sun and moon.
Mm.
How'd that feel?
Actually felt kind of good.
Getting swacked by a freaking spinning crystal.
Kind of felt good where I'm from. Seal it in, Kane. The Kane of the crystal grids. Aaron twists himself.
Yeah.
Still showing up for you guys, even in the darkest of days. Let's show them some love below.
My employer doesn't appreciate the fact that I'm authentic about how I'm feeling and doing. Even if sometimes it is said very sarcastically.
Oh, what do they want you to fake it?
Oh yeah, she wants me to put on my happy healer face because, my generic response to people when they ask me how I'm doing is I'm surviving. It's like, this is an accurate statement. I'm not lying to nobody. It's just,
Keeping it real.
yeah. Most people don't appreciate that.
I do. I appreciate you.
Alright. No. I have said that since being out here and the fact that nobody fucking knows who the hell I am, I'm gonna just be me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's noticed. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it feels good to get celebrated for you just being authentically you, right?
Right?
AKA the... What do I keep calling you? The equivalent to Switzerland? What are you? The energetic?
I am the energetic equivalent of Switzerland. I am
Yes.
kind of neutral. But if you look at my actual alignment, it's like, I've done so many of those, like, oh, what's your alignment, or what's your D&D alignment, or how do you sway politically? And it's like straight up neutral, slightly leading chaotic good. Because
Yeah, what did you call your political party last week? Or
I am a moderately conservative green socialist.
Moderately conservative green socialist.
Mhm.
I love it.
Right? And the thing is, you can take that conservatism and apply that directly into the green, into the socialism, because, I want to protect the environment and maintain the environment while also maintaining the generic social and civil liberties that we have gained because of our government, social programs like public schools, public libraries, public hospitals, all of those things. But, let's up it up a little bit and go like, okay, since we have the tax money, let's give people their health care. Let's give people their pensions that they've earned.
They worked their fucking ass off for this stupid
Social
system.
Social Security is a thing that we put into because we actually give a shit about our elderly. And you don't siphon it off because you want to build your goddamn military industrial complex.
Preach!
Yeah, I could go on forever about that shit.
But yeah, I just wanted the people to hear the name because I thought it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Little Palo Santo. I haven't been able to burn it at home because my wife is like reacting to Palo and Sage right now, so I don't really get to
This is why I'm a firm believer that if you're in your 40s and shit, don't do any of those. I'm gonna completely fix my health. Because there's this little thing that happens when anytime, like, say you slowly
like shock your body.
Yeah. Like, if you go cold turkey, especially, it's like, oh, I've been a smoker for 20, 30, 40 years. And you just stop. How many people do you know that have stopped smoking and then developed the emphysema, the COPD, the lung cancer? And that's because of the concept of a little bit of poison goes a long way. So if you're constantly putting a little bit of poison in your body, you're creating that natural immune system. Then your body's constantly fighting it off. And actually, in the case of something like cigarettes, like, what smoke does is it slows shit down internally while also speeding certain things up. So, your body gets used to that after a certain period of time. So you create this natural immune system, which is expecting to have that tar and smoke and stuff come in. And you remove that, any of those cancer cells that have been created are no longer being stifled because your body's not creating that excess of immune suppressors and immune cells. So then those things that were just sitting underneath the surface, just waiting for their time, are now being ignored and wreak havoc. So,
Feel it.
as a result, I'll probably never quit smoking. I'll just change what it is I'm smoking. You know what I mean?
Just switch to roll-ups, like roll your own,
Right?
with like some kind of like sustainable paper and like pure tobacco. You know what I mean?
Right. Or even going into creating more of an herbal type blend with like the mullet and
All that
marshmallow
stuff.
leaf. And
Yeah.
get like again the sustainable tobacco because I like that stimulant and the taste. I always love these little floaty things.
Boris is so cute.
Isn't-
Missing Boris today, guys.
Yeah.
He was our third wheel.
And
When
so
it came
during
to the
days,
grid build.
not too bad. I can usually manage just going to bed because like I don't have my snuggle butt.
Yeah, he's your little snuggle butt.
All right, and Sir Chad's favorite part of the day.
This is where Sir Aaron seals the deal with the marijuana plant. Yes, it needs one more. Beautiful. Any last words for the people this month? So we're building this mid-month, January 16th. So this is gonna kind of change the energy up for the rest of the month,
Right.
all through February until we build the next one. So
Yeah, the next one will be March 18th. And
excuse me.
this March grid is going to be very similar to some previous years. You know, a lot of immune system shit. But yeah, with this, I just really recommend being gentle with yourself, like being easy on it, being soft to yourself, taking the time you need. Like, it's still winter time. Might not look like it outside depending on where you live, but it is winter and we're supposed to be going internal. So we've sat with that internalness for a pretty heavy level of internal stuff. So now as you are still sitting with this, you're also going to be flowing with this. And, you know, don't push yourself. The river might be going slowly. That doesn't mean you have to, like, gun it to get there. You know, the river always flows. So flow with the river. Yeah.
Flow with the river.
Flow with the river, be gentle, create, express. You know, if you need to have a good cry, have a good cry. If you need to, you know, go and scream in the woods, go scream in the woods. Go put your feet in some water, regardless of where you are, and just stare off into the distance. Just be gentle, just be slow. Take care of yourself. And if you need some good suggestions, I recommend Pixar. They have a whole slew of stuff that'll, like, what are you dealing with? You got some ancestral trauma, go put on some cocoa.
Yeah, feeling good.
You got some, inner child issues, go watch Inside Out. You got some, like, lost dream issues, go watch Soul. You want to just cry, put on Toy Story. Like, what is it, like 4? That's the one that people are like, oh, hell no. What is there? That Encanto. It's like, if you've got just, that's not like inner child stuff. That's not ancestral. That's like family, like real life family issues, being burdened and all that shit. Go watch that. Get some feels. If it's a pet thing, do what I'm about to do at some point. Once I get the courage, go put on freaking A Dog's Purpose. Like, I'm gonna go break my heart one day, but it's like, due to being in this vulnerable state, this is the best time to watch something like that I know is going to hit me, that I know is going to just feelings. So,
Yes, sir.
it's like what you're feeling, go with it, work with it, don't suppress it.
Flow like the river.
Flow like the river.
All right, guys, make sure you comment below, email us, chaosgrids@gmail.com if you got any questions. We thank you and appreciate you and love you for like continuously tuning in, and make sure you subscribe and yeah, send Aaron some love.
Right.
The grid master, he puts a lot of time into these grids for you guys, and I'm here and I get to witness the greatness, so I'm grateful for it.
Right.
But yeah,
And negative doesn't mean bad, okay? Negative just means heavy and slow.
mm-hmm.
So you know what? When you're dealing with something that's negative, take it slow.
Mm.
Unpack what needs to be unpacked. And, pick back up only that which is necessary. Don't just focus on the positive.
Preach. All right, see you guys next month.
Have a good one.